What's up, traders? It's Steven, and today we're going to be talking about key levels of structure and the amazing role they play in profitable trading. So before I started understanding key levels of structure, this is kind of what my trading looked like. Yeah, we have oversold markets. We have a market that's pushing down, but it's got to pop up, right? We're oversold. So I would wait on a big green candle. There's my big green candle. Okay, I'm in the trade. I would enter long, hope that I didn't go under this level of structure, hope I could make it back to the previous level of support over here. The market would then continue, push down, and eventually stop me out. That's how my trading used to look. And then whenever I started realizing that key levels of structure play a gigantic role in trading success and started looking left to see where my key levels are, that is when my trading started taking a turn. Still waiting on that big green candle. There we go, big green candle. Entry. Stop under the swing low. Target up at previous support. Let's see how this plays out. And that is when my trading started to change. If you were to ask me what my winning percentage and risk reward was before understanding this concept, it was about a 40% winning percentage with a 1-to-1 risk reward. If you were to ask me after understanding these key levels what my winning percentage and risk reward was, it jumped to about a 60% winning percentage with a 1.5-to-1 risk reward. This is a recipe for disaster. This is a recipe for success. And today I'm going to show you how I built a trading foundation around key levels that led to a recipe to successful trading. So if that sounds good, go ahead and click that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and click the like button for me to help out with the YouTube algorithm, and we're gonna jump right in today. So the first pair we're gonna take a look at is the euro dollar. Let's go ahead and zoom the chart out to the daily chart and find the euro dollar. First off, we're gonna talk about how last week played out, and then I'm gonna delete everything off the chart and explain to you what I'm expecting next out of the euro dollar based on trend and key levels of structure. So last week, we pointed out that this market had started a downtrend. Nothing's changed with that being the fact. We also thought this was our possible level the market would turn around. The market did not quite cooperate with that, pushing a little bit above our level so far. And with the fact that we were wrong about our initial analysis about the market turning around from here and continuing lower, that does not mean we lost a trade. I actually didn't get a trade in this area, so I didn't lose any money, and you would be surprised at how many times you are wrong about your analysis, didn't lose a trade, and then you just have to start over and go ahead and do analysis again, right? And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and delete everything off the chart. And here we go, fresh, clean chart. What are we looking at on the euro dollar? Well, let's talk about trend. Trend-wise, we're still in a possible reversal. We found highs here, could not break this level of resistance. The buyers could not take control. Market got pushed down, eventually making this nice 1, 2, 3 reversal type move, breaking below our 50-day moving average. And now we're in what is called a retracement or a pullback or whatever you like to call it. And in this pullback, we're actually at another level of possible structure. Now, I personally will not be looking for trades at this exact level. I'm waiting on this other level a little bit higher. I will point it out for you. And the reason is because this level here has been tested more times. I see this as a major level because the level in between my blue box has been tested once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times by price. I think price will be drawn there, and that's going to be the next place I look for possible shorting trades. So identifying this key level lets me know that right now, unless it's on a really small time frame, I'm not looking for long trades on the euro dollar. I'm going to be looking for short trades, but I'm not looking for short trades right now. With this top-down analysis approach and understanding the way key levels work, I'm going to be waiting on this market to come up to an area between 1.1934 and 1.1887, and that's the area I'll look for possible short trades out of the euro dollar. Now, in terms of long trades, same area as last week. We have an area right in here that if this market continues lower, I will be looking at for possible long trades. Now, tell me this, why am I not looking here for possible long trades? This is something I see a lot of traders get confused about. The reason I'm not looking right here at this support level for possible long trades is because right now, this is the importance of understanding trend. Right now, this market has just made a 1, 2, 3 move to the downside, breaking through support levels. The higher likelihood that we have right now, it's not a guarantee, it's not a fact, it is a likely situation. The likelihood we have is that this market continues in this downtrend after this 1, 2, 3 move. If this 1, 2, 3 move, in case you didn't know what I was talking about. It's the impulsive move, the pullback, and the impulsive move that breaks the pullback. If that's the case, and I'm expecting this market to continue lower, then what is inevitable? Well, it's inevitable that we break through the support level. So why would I look for buying opportunities here if we inevitably will break through that support level if my analysis plays out correctly? So that's the reason our support is actually way down here, is because that's the place I'll start looking for buying trades on swing trading time frames. And I've already talked about the place I'm looking for short trades on swing trading time frames. Let's move on now to the pound dollar. Pound dollar, we actually had some pretty good analysis on this pair last week, and what I'm going to do is play you a clip from last week's analysis and then come right back and talk about what I'm expecting next out of this pair. See you in just a second. And we're going to take a look at what's expected out of the pound dollar next. So what do we have now? Now we are here, floating around in our support level. What's the third step in our process of consistently profitable trading? I talked about this last week in depth. We need to prepare. First, we need to find our levels of structure. We need to have a solid entry reason in those levels that we use time and time again. Then we need to prepare. What about if the pound dollar pushes up? Well, I have my zone here that if the pound dollar pushes up, we'll be in a period of consolidation. This will be the highest resistance level. I'll still look for possible short trades out of the level around 1.278. A little bit in profit here, but it's based on the same concept. I'm looking for long trades out of this area. I think we could get another bounce since we are in this support area, at least up to our previous resistance level. So now hopefully you can see how big of a role support and resistance and using it correctly plays into profitable trading. So on the pound dollar, you could see that last week we were actually in a live trade from this area based on the key level analysis I'm teaching you right now. What did I look for in terms of making this a key level or identifying this as a key level? Well, if you look left here, you can see that this was a major level of resistance that pushed the market down. The market was pushing down towards that. And if I look left even further, it's a level that's been tested multiple times. With it being one of the recent levels tested and it being tested multiple times, it led me to believe we would see a bounce out of this market. So with that being the case, I actually got 2 winning trades. I got a trade from here that pushed the market up. We looked at last week. I'm not going to show you a clip from that, don't worry. But then the clip you just saw, I got another trade right here. And what I want to do now is walk you through the entry, the actual entry reason. I don't want to just give you these zones and how to point them out. I want to tell you how I trade when markets enter into these zones. So let's drop down to a smaller time frame. The entry time frame in this case was actually the 1 hour. And what was I looking at on the 1 hour chart? Well, here on this pound dollar trade that you saw me in earlier in the video, what I was looking at is this market pushing down, creating a price action pattern. So let's break that down. In these areas, I look for price action patterns that tell me the market could go higher from an area of support or lower from an area of resistance. Considering we're in support, I'm looking for the market to go higher. So when I see a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder form, I actually entered the market right about there. My stop loss was below the head of the head and shoulders pattern, and my target was at, I think, a 1.6 to 1. And as I said earlier, if I was just to be trading price action patterns, like I said at the beginning, I was normally about 40% accurate before I realized the importance of these major levels of structure. And now I'm closer to 55 to 60% accurate with an average of about a 1.5 to 1 risk reward. This is a recipe for success. If you continuously do that, get a 60% win rate with a 1.5 to 1 RR, you're going to be a winning trader as long as you stick to your plan and use appropriate risk management. So that's what I look at in these zones, as price action patterns that tell me the market wants to head higher from them. So in terms of key levels, you saw what we looked at last week. I also last week on the pound dollar said that if this market got back up to this level of resistance, and why is this a level of resistance, guys? The reason is because it was a recent level that was tested multiple times in the past. With that being the case, I thought it was a level this market would react from. We have 1, 2, 3 tests recently. When we got into this area, what happened? Immediately a push down. This might not look like much on a daily chart, but if I drop down to a 4 hour, you'll see that this was actually a pretty nice move of around 160 pips pushing down. And as I said, what do I look for in these areas? Price action patterns. Do we have a price action pattern here? not really. So actually I went down to a smaller time frame for no reason. You can kind of make up a head and shoulders pattern here with a head being in our zone and next shoulder, but that's a little too sloppy for me. So nothing to trade out of that zone. Let's go out to the daily now though and talk about what I'm expecting coming up out of the pound dollar. And I actually don't have to delete everything because on this chart, what I'm expecting is this to continue to consolidate. We only have 2 tests of this level. I think we could see a third test of this level and a bounce up. So with that being the case, I'm gonna prepare, which is a huge step in trading, for the market to do something. I'm preparing if the market goes down, that I'll be looking for buy trades between 127.8 and 127.11. If we get into that area, it's an area I'll look for price action patterns that are bullish to push the market higher. And if we push up, I'm no longer going to be looking at this level for resistance unless we retest that support. So what I mean by this is if we get a higher low here, which on a lower time frame, this will be a higher low. If we get a higher low here and the market pushes up and starts to break these highs, I'm expecting that we continue in that trend, and I don't want to be placing short trades from that level. But if we push down to this support level right here, I do believe we could get another bounce up. So I'm looking for long trades out of that green area. For short trades, it will not happen for me unless we get up to here in terms of swing trading. I won't be looking for short trades on the pound dollar until 1.3499 and 1.3372. So those are the areas I'm paying attention to for possible trades here on the pound dollar. Let's move on now to the Aussie dollar. Here we are on the Aussie dollar. We had some pretty good analysis out of this pair last week. So what I'm going to do is play you a clip from that video really quickly, and I'll be right back afterwards. See you in a second. But just full transparency, for the EAP training program, we're actually involved in a trade right now in this level. I'll move out to a daily chart. I did notice that we have a nice level, a little bit lower, looking like here and here, which this market just bounced out of. Since we have had this complete waterfall, I do believe that the Aussie dollar is ready for some type of relief. I think this level of structure would be a great place to have that relief. I'm not looking for a complete reversal in this market to head much higher. I think we're overall going to continue this downtrend, but I do believe I can get a bounce at least up to these previous support levels, and that's the way I'm trading this right now. But as you just saw on that Aussie dollar analysis, we expected this level of resistance to turn in support and push the market higher. That's exactly what happened, and we actually had a trade in the EAP training program. I'll put a screenshot of it up now, where I sent this trade out to all members of the program, and we ended up hitting some pretty nice targets. Now that doesn't always happen, of course, as I said, around 55 to 60% accurate, meaning I lose 4.5 to 4 out of 10 of my trades. But that's just a part of trading. This happened to be a winner. And if you'd like to start receiving 3 to 5 of these email analysis trades and a full training course talking through the rules-based strategies I use on a daily basis, along with priority support from me, yours truly, then the link for the EAP training program is in the description. But as you can see, the second part of that analysis actually did not work out. We thought this level would provide some resistance. The market ended up going a little higher using this support level instead, and that did provide some resistance. Now this analysis next is going to be very similar to the euro dollar analysis. So I'm going to leave this on the chart because I have to do a video about this for the EAP. But I'm going to delete everything else. So just as with the euro dollar, what are we expecting here? Well, let's talk about the trend. What have we just had? 1, 2, the pullback, 3, the break of this support level. What's that telling me? Possible downtrend, PDT, or pattern day trading rule if you're in the stock market. But possible downtrend is what it's telling me. And if I'm in a possible downtrend, what am I going to look for? Well, it's already happened, but I'd be looking at the previous level of support to become resistance and push the market down. In this case, am I looking here for possible buying opportunities? Hopefully you were able to say no. So let's actually point out the key levels we're looking at on the Aussie dollar for the next time I'm going to be placing trades on this pair. If we get up to our previous resistance level right here, I will be looking for possible trades around the 0.73 even handled number. If the market comes up there, it's a place I'll look for bearish price action patterns in order to push the market lower. We had such a waterfall from this level. Sellers stepped in so hard from this level that I do believe it's a level where we will have at least a bounce down, maybe even to previous resistance and then continuation up, just preparing for what could be next. It's not been tested multiple times, but it is a major level for me because of the amount of speed and power this level had as it pushed the market lower. So we have my level of resistance. What's my level of support? Well, if I'm not trading from here, then I just look lower and left and find the next support level. Do you see how easy that is? That's literally all I'm doing. In order to find the counter trend bounce levels, I'm just looking down, not using the most recent level of support because it's probably going to break. If we continue in trend, it's inevitably going to break. But if that's not the one, then I just look left and look a little bit lower and find the next level of support on this market. So where is, with that being the case, now that you know that, where's my next level? Hopefully you said somewhere in this zone. Somewhere between 0.6864 and 0.6803 is an area I'll be looking for possible long trades out of the Aussie dollar. Next up, we're going to take a look at the dollar yen. On this pair, we've had a couple of live trades, but essentially nothing has changed from last week on this pair. On this pair last week, we said that for swing trading and this style of trading, we were looking in this area for possible support, which is still the case. And we're looking at 107 even. If the market pulls up to that level, I'm looking there for possible resistance. In the same way as I've been talking to you about throughout this video, I'll be looking for price action patterns in these levels to provide clues as to telling me that the market is going to use this level for resistance or this level for support. That's what I'm looking at for the remainder of this week and into early next week on the dollar yen. Let's continue now on to the dollar Swiss. And last week's analysis on this pair was kind of a bust, but kind of not. And let me explain what I mean. I actually got an entry reason on this pair. Last week's analysis, I talked about this being resistance unless it was broken and closed above. It was, and then turning into support. But it hasn't turned into support and pushed the market all the way up here. Nothing like that's happened. But the beauty of using multiple time frames is that I pointed out this level of support on the daily. I ended up dropping down to a 4-hour, and I got an entry in this level right around here and ended up hitting my first targets, getting stopped out for break even on the second part of the position. But it ended up being a winning trade, even though on the daily chart, this level did not hold up as the level of support to push us into trend continuation. Now, what are we expecting? Very similar to the Aussie dollar and to the Euro dollar, but in the opposite direction. And with that being the case, I want you to think about what you would be expecting out of this pair moving forward based on this type of analysis. Well, what have we had? Let's break it down trend-wise. We're not necessarily in an uptrend yet, but do we have a possible reversal? Well, similar to the Euro dollar, but opposite, we have lows, lows, and lows, and right in here turned out to be a level that bears could not push the market below. And bulls took over so much at one point that we went from bears, 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 bears to a higher low and a higher high. If we can make a higher low and a higher high, then that tells me that we're in a possible reversal situation. I'm actually looking for long trades out of the dollar Swiss. I don't think we're going to make it back down to this support level. If we do, though, this support level will be a level that I'm looking at for possible long trades. If we get into this level, that's what I'll look for. As for resistance, why don't you try to point it out? Let's do that. If we're right here, then what's the next level? If we're going to push up and looking left, what's the next level that the market's going to hit that is possible to push this market down? A major level of support or resistance. Hopefully, you were able to say this area right in here, because this area acted as support so much here before getting broken below. Since it was broken below, now what are we expecting? We're expecting this market to come back up to around 9,400 even, and in that area of 9,400 even be pushed down, possibly pushed down to 0.9293 and then pushed back up. So that is the analysis on the dollar Swiss. And again, in all of these levels, these are levels I'm actually going to be using in my trading that I'm going to be looking for possible price action patterns in. And once again, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and click that like button to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and click subscribe if you'd like to be notified. Every time we come out with a new video, hit that notification bell. If you're interested in more advanced training, we have a few spots available in the EAP Training Program. In that program, I'll be showing you the exact strategies I use, giving you a full training course, going from beginner, wherever you are now, to understanding everything you need to know about trading to create a solid trading plan that's rules-based and easy to follow. We also go over risk management and discipline in the course. You'll be receiving 3 to 5 of those emails I just showed you earlier in the video when I do place trades based on the strategies that you see in the course. And you'll receive priority support from yours truly. It is a mentorship program. We'll be working closely together on your trading journey to accomplish your trading goals. If that sounds like something you're interested in, it's the top link in the description. If not, that's totally fine. Again, just make sure you're subscribed because we come out with free, valuable content like this each and every week. I wish you guys the best of luck in your future trades, and I look forward to talking to you next time.